Have you ever looked up from your phone and realized an hour vanished, and you can't even remember what you saw? You try to stop, thumb pauses, then it moves on its own. A headline, a face, a micro hit of outrage or envy, and under all that noise, a quiet ache. Why can't I put this down? According to Viktor Frankl, that ache has a name. He called it the existential vacuum, inner emptiness that shows up when life loses direction. When meaning goes missing, we don't stop wanting. We just start wanting the wrong things. We reach for quick relief, for stimulation, for something to plug the silence. That's the vacuum. And the feed is designed to fill it with everything except what you actually need. Frankl lived through horrors most of us can't imagine. He watched people crumble, and he watched people find strength no one believed possible. His discovery was simple and explosive. Humans can endure almost anyhow if they have a why. Meaning changes everything, might by removing pain, but by giving pain a place to go. So what does meaning have to do with doomscrolling? Everything. Doomscrolling isn't just a bad habit, it is a symptom. It is your soul knocking from the inside, saying, I'm hungry. Not just for dopamine, for direction, for responsibility, for something that asks something of you. Frankl believed we do not invent meaning, we discover it. Where? In 3 places. In what we create, in what we experience, and in the attitude we take toward pain. Creation, experience, attitude. Let's translate that into the modern maze of your phone. First, creation. Scrolling is pure consumption. It asks nothing of you. Creation, on the other hand, turns you from spectator to participant. It can be small, a paragraph in your journal, a sketch in the margins, a text that thanks someone specifically, a recipe you actually try. Your day changes when you create even 1 square inch of reality. Second, experience. Not 1,000 fractured impressions, but 1 real moment. Sit in sunlight for 2 minutes. Taste your coffee like it's the first one in months. Step outside at night and count 3 constellations. Hold your child's hand without a phone between your palms. Frankl's point, true experience makes life feel weighty again, and weight is the opposite of emptiness. Third, attitude. Some pain you can't remove. Loneliness, uncertainty, loss. But you are free. This was Frankl's drumbeat, to choose your stance toward it. Between stimulus and response, he said, there is a space. In that space is your power. In that space is your freedom. Doomscrolling collapses that space. Meaning reopens it. Let's get concrete. Tonight, when the urge spikes, try a 3-minute swap. Before you scroll, create. Set a timer, 3 minutes. Write a note you could hand to someone tomorrow and feel proud of. Record a voice memo to your future self, explaining 1 lesson you learned today. Or take 1 photo that reveals something true, light on the wall, your dog's sleepy face, your own eyes in the bathroom mirror. Creation first, then decide. You'll notice something subtle. The urge shrinks just a little. Not because you used willpower, but because you fed the vacuum with something it actually recognizes. Frankl used a technique called dereflection. When you're trapped by a symptom, insomnia, anxiety, or the reflex to scroll, stop staring at it. Shift your gaze to a task that serves someone beyond yourself. Instead of asking, how do I stop scrolling? Ask, who needs something from me in the next 10 minutes? Then give it. A sincere review for a small business you love. A voice message to a friend who's hurting. A job application you've delayed because fear whispers, what's the point? Pain shrinks when responsibility grows. There's another tool with a strange name, paradoxical intention. It sounds backward, but it's brilliant. If you're terrified of missing out, if you're obsessed with perfection, you can deflate the pressure by leaning into it on purpose. Schedule a deliberate, ridiculous scroll window. At 7:30, for 6 minutes, I will scroll like it's my job. When the time ends, you end. Paradoxically, choosing the compulsion removes its teeth. You gave it a frame. You took back the space between stimulus and response. But let's dig deeper. Doomscrolling thrives on two things: anonymous fear and anonymous envy. Fear of the future. Envy of 1,000 lives you don't live. Frankl's antidote is radical responsibility. He would ask, what is life asking of you today? Not what do you feel like, not what would be comfortable. Life is asking, meaning answers. So try this morning, Anchor. 2 questions, written where you can't miss them. What is my task today? Who benefits if I do it well? Keep it concrete. Write the first 300 words. Return the call. Cook dinner for my family. Show up to therapy. Don't ask your feelings for permission. Let your action teach your feelings what today is for. If you're thinking, I'm too tired, I'm too sad, I don't know my purpose, I hear you. Frankl would say, your purpose isn't a trophy you find once and hang on the wall. It's discovered in moments of fidelity to small responsibilities, especially when it hurts. Tragic optimism, that was his phrase. Not blind positivity, not toxic cheerfulness. The stubborn hope that even suffering can be turned toward meaning. Let me show you a story. A listener wrote that her nights were a blur. Scroll, compare, panic, repeat. She felt her life was dull, then punished herself with feed after feed of people whose lives looked like fireworks. We talked about We set a rule. At 9 p.m., pick one human outside your home and reduce their burden by 1 ounce. That's it. Write a letter to her grandmother. Send a job lead to a friend. Leave a review for a local bakery. Within 2 weeks, the panic had not vanished, but it had a rival. Responsibility lit a corner of her night. The feed lost its crown. Rituals help. When the urge hits, try a reset that takes less than 60 seconds. Step 1. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Do it twice. Step 2. Name the ache out loud. I feel lonely. I feel scared of tomorrow. Step 3. Choose one of the 3 paths: creation, experience, attitude. 1 sentence, 1 action, or 1 reframe. I will write 3 lines. I will step outside for fresh air. I choose to carry this sadness as a teacher, not a tyrant, for the next hour. Tiny, specific, done. Now, a hard truth, gently. Your phone is not the villain. The feed is not your fate. The real battle is for attention, and attention follows meaning like a compass points north. Build the path your attention wants to follow. Craft your environment to make meaning the easy choice. Move the most triggering app off your home screen. Turn your phone grayscale in the evenings so the carnival goes quiet. Put the charger across the room. Keep a pen and index card within reach where your phone used to sit. When the reflex fires, hands reach for a card. Write 1 sentence. Life is asking me to underscore. Fill it. Then move. Let's talk about the loneliness under the scroll. You can be in a room full of people and feel invisible. Frankl would not dismiss that. He'd say, become responsible to someone, not to perform, to serve. Volunteer once a week where you can be reliable. Mentor 1 younger person. Call 1 elder consistently. Connection that gives you a role doesn't just feel good, it roots you. Roots make you heavier. Doomscrolling works on the unrooted. And when life's pain is not abstract but sharper diagnosis, a breakup, a job loss, please don't hear me say, just think differently. No, cry, rage, rest. Then when you can, ask Frankl's question. Given this pain, what attitude would honor the best in me? You are not required to like your suffering, but you are invited to shape it. Here's a counterintuitive practice. Write a letter to your future self from your pain. We didn't choose this, but here's what we're going to do with it. Speak to your own courage as if it's a friend who needs reassurance. Then put a date to reread it. Meaning is not a mood. It's a promise you keep. Midway check-in. What part of your doom loop feels most human to you? Fear, envy, or numbness? Drop me one word in the comments so we can learn together. And if this is helping, consider subscribing so you'll have a steady place to return when the feed tries to swallow your night. Back to the work. Frankl spoke again and again about self-transcendence, the idea that you find yourself not by staring at yourself, but by forgetting yourself in a task, a cause, or a person you love. The scroll turns you inward and small. Self-transcendence stretches you outward and serious. What could that look like this week? Choose a micro-mission with a deadline. Teach a neighbor's kid algebra every Tuesday for 20 minutes. Cook a meal for a family with a new baby. Offer to proofread a friend's resume by Friday. When the alarm chimes at 9 p.m., the mission calls louder than the feed. You might wonder, does this mean I should never relax? Never be entertained? Of course not. Joy is experience. Laughter is experience. But make entertainment a dessert, not a diet. Choose one or two shows, one or two creators, on purpose. Watch, enjoy, close. When everything is special, nothing satisfies. When something is chosen, it nourishes. If you've tried to stop before and failed, please don't call that weakness. Call it misdiagnosis. You tried to fight an existential vacuum with discipline alone. It's like trying to fill a well with confetti. Pretty, weightless. Meaning is the only thing heavy enough to settle the dust. Here's a tiny vow you can test for 72 hours. Write it down. Before I scroll, I will serve. Pick one act of service per day, 5 minutes or less. Keep a simple score. Tick mark on a paper. At night, write one sentence. Today I chose meaning by underscore. After 3 days, reflect. Do you feel more steady? Not euphoric, steady. If so, extend the vow. When you inevitably slip and, you will treat it like a scientist, not a judge. Observe, what time, what feeling, what was I avoiding? Then change one variable, move the charger. Invite a friend to text you at the time you usually fall into the pit. Or replace the late night scroll with an early morning walk so your body learns a new rhythm. There's one more insight I want to leave in your hands. Frankl believed that meaning often appears when you stop asking, what can I get out of life? And start asking, what does life expect of me right here with what I have? This turns anxiety into assignment. It takes the free-floating ache and gives it edges, a shape you can hold, a task you can attempt. Tonight, when the screen glows and the thumb twitches, pause in that sliver of space Frankl defended for us. Take one breath, slow and honest. Name the ache. Choose a path, creation, experience, or attitude. Serve one person, then let the quiet come. You were not made to consume an endless stream of other people's lives. You were made to carry one life, yours, with courage and care. And if the night is dark, if your heart is tired, hear this as a blessing over your next choice. You are not empty. You are waiting. There is meaning to be found in your suffering, dignity to be discovered in your responsibility, and a future that begins not with a grand revelation, but with a small, faithful act. Close the app, open your life, and step into the space where freedom lives.